ITV Britain's Got Talent fans fume over unfair act as Ant McPartlin makes admission. Britain's Got Talent presenter Ant McPartlin caused fans to complain as they tuned in to the ITV show's third day of live semi-finals. Britain's Got Talent returned for the third installment of the live semi-finals. Fans of the ITV talent show were fuming over an unfair advantage that they claimed was given to the first act of the night. As the show began, presenters Ant McPartlin and Declan Donnelly got into their usual banter with judges Simon Cowell, Amanda Holden, Alicia Dixon and Bruno Tonioli. After a few minutes of back and forth, it was time for the first act of the evening. Ant said, "Kicking us off tonight is a dangerous and risky pogo act who jumped over me and Dec at the auditions." Dec added, "He did, so we know he can jump at least 6'5" in the air." The audience laughed as Dec joked, "What? I'll smash all your faces in a minute?" He asked what was in store from the act tonight. Ant replied, "Well, it's so impressive, some of it had to be pre-recorded. Please welcome Duncan Murray." The act began outside the auditorium as Duncan pogo sticked his way into the venue. During tonight's act, he was joined by two other men who were also carrying out impressive acts on their pogo sticks. While the act was just as impressive as he was at the auditions, fans at home fumed over Duncan having an unfair advantage on what was supposed to be a live show. They were not happy with Ant's admission of a part of the act being pre-recorded. Taking to X, formerly Twitter, they shared their thoughts. One user wrote, "If you can't do your act 100% live, you probably shouldn't be in the live semi-finals #Bert." Another posted, "I thought the whole point of the semi-finals was that the contestants have to perform live. Why is he allowed to pre-record some of his act? How many attempts did he get it right? The other live acts no get one chance. Peas, this is boring so far anyway. #BGT. A third made reference to another dangerous act who was set to appear later in the show. They said, "So the first act is not doing it live. Surely that's unfair on the other performers. What about the sword swallower, will she be live?" #BGT #Britain's Got Talent. Someone else asked, "Pre-recorded, how is that fair to the other acts?" #BGT. And another fumed, "Thought this was supposed to be live. #BGT. The other live acts no get one chance. Peas, this is boring so far anyway. #BGT. A third made reference to another dangerous act who was set to appear later in the show. They said, "So the first act is not doing it live. Surely that's unfair on the other performers. What about the sword swallower, will she be live?" #BGT #Britain's Got Talent. Someone else asked, "Pre-recorded, how is that fair to the other acts?" #BGT. And another fumed, "Thought this was supposed to be live. #BGT. Stay tuned and subscribe the channel.